Ready?
Zara's not here.
Good evening, everybody. If I could have your attention, please, at this time. Thank you. I'd like to call to order for the reorganization meeting of the Board of Education, May 21st, 2025, at 6:30 p.m. in the cafeteria at the Conover Road Primary School, 56 Conover Road, Colts Neck, New Jersey. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, this meeting has been duly advertised in the Asbury Park Press in a schedule of meetings dated January 16th, 2025, March 4th, 2025, and May 21st, 2025, notice of which has been filed with the Deputy Clerk for Colts Neck Township, and the requirements of posting of notices have been met. If everybody can please rise for the flag salute and the national anthem. Mr. Maresca, can I kindly have a roll call, please?
Yes, you may. Mrs. Camera.
Present.
Mrs. Horowitz. Mr. Arrico.
Here.
Mrs. Ramirez. Mr. Rignetta.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Scales. Mr. Scarpa. Mrs. Volpe.
Here.
Mr. Walsh. Here. You do have a quorum.
Great. I just want to remind the public that this meeting is live streamed to the public. Thank you. Mrs. Camera, can you kindly read the mission statement?
The mission of the Colts Neck Township Schools is to empower and inspire students to be confident, creative, self-sufficient learners who maximize their strengths and talents and contribute as responsible participants in their ever-expanding world.
Great. Thank you, Mrs. Camera. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to move a consent agenda to the reorganization items 1 through 28. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Great. At this time, anybody have a question or comment on those 28 items? Okay. Can I get a roll call?
Yes, on consent action items 1 through 28. Mrs. Camera.
Yes.
Mr. Arrico.
Yes.
Mr. Rignetta.
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe.
Yes.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Great. Thank you. Can I get a motion to move the approval of the minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Excuse me, we're recognizing Mrs. Ramirez, who is joining virtually at this time.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I get a roll call for the approval of minutes?
Yes, Mrs. Camera.
Yes.
Mr. Arrico.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez. Yes. She's acknowledging. Mr. Rignetta,
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe,
Yes.
and Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passed.
Okay, great, thank you. At this time, we are going to do our presentations. I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Garabay to proceed with that.
Great. Good evening. This evening we have an update. We have our student representative to the Board of Education, Ms. Emmanuel Diener from Cedar Drive Middle School, who will be providing the board with an update on a project that she worked very hard in conjunction with many of the people in the district to bring to life at Cedar Drive. So, Emmanuel.
Good evening, everybody. I have another update on the pergola that I have been working on very hard on. So the pergola is finished and it looks outstanding. It was ready in time for the CDMS 60th anniversary, and it pretty much it's finished, and now we're just waiting to get some classes out there to learn.
Great. Thank you, Mrs. Diener. I just want to let you know, I was there for the 60th anniversary, and a few of the board members were there also to view your project, and we just want to let you know that it came out beautifully, and we thank you for all your hard work and dedication to try to put this together, execute it, and now we have a fantastic addition to Cedar Drive Middle School. I also like to thank the PTO for their generosity, their generous grant in funding the project for us. So thank you both very much for everything, and we appreciate it. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Great, thank you.
Thank you. And Emmanuel, thank you for your work, and Dr. Rigby and Mr. Mercer, and working with some of our community partners, learning about building permits, right? And clearing ground and grading ground and all the things that go along, and setbacks and all the fun things that go into school construction. So not only was it a beautification process, but we hope it was a great learning experience for you as well with regard to project management and all the things that go along with that. So we're very proud of you and you taking the initiative, and also the collaborative work put forth by the administration and staff to support you in those efforts, as well as the Board of Education empowering you to do so. So thank you very much for all of that hard work and time that you gave and thought that that went into this. So thank you. Okay, at this time, we're going to then continue with our recognition program. So we're going to continue on with our student recognition program. If the Board of Education members would like to take a seat here, we're going to be moving on to our student recognition program for our cast and crews of Annie Jr. and Matilda, Annie Kids and Matilda Juniors. Mrs. Volpe would join me at the dais for a presentation. And then if Mr. Osmond would like to join me as well to kick off the recognition of Connever Road Elementary School's cast, crews, and advisors for Annie Kids.
Thank you, Dr. Garabay. Before I begin, I'd like to also congratulate Emmanuel. It's great to see our students, our former elementary school students, growing up and doing great things at Cedar Drive and beyond. It's always wonderful to see. To all of our elementary school students that are here, I encourage you to take a page out of Emmanuel's book and continue to be involved and continue to give back to your community as you grow and work your way through our school district. Before I call our students up here to be recognized, I would like to first call our amazing advisors up to join me, please. Ms. Santasero, Mrs. Auletta, and Mrs. Hannon, please come up and join me. What an amazing group of professionals and educators. They have worked so tirelessly to put on a great show, always with smiles and enthusiasm. And for those of you who were able to see our show, our performance, the first night we had a little bit of technical difficulty with some of the things, and After that, the next two performances were so flawlessly perfect. It was absolutely amazing, and we're so blessed to have you working with our students. I also want to acknowledge Mrs. Hannon, who is a true volunteer for this program. There is no compensation to her. She gives all of her heart and soul. She is a community member, resident of Colts Neck, and truly deeply cares about our students and their performance, and she's there putting in her time and doing so out of the goodness of her heart. So thank you, as always, Mrs. Hannon, for what you do. At this time, I'd like to call our students' names, and we're going to have each of you come up and receive your certificates as you make your way up to the podium here. All right? So we'll start with Maddie Ammerheim. Alexandra Brinster, Julia Buttacavoli. I know she's at the movie night next door. I just saw her. Despina Cherney, Frank Clemente, Josie Cooley, Ezra Cornelius, Vivian Cyrus, I know she's on vacation right now. Ava DeSalvatore, with a big smile on her face. Devin D'Onofrio. Gavin D'Onofrio. Olivia Eldelati. Hunter Ellis. Clara Fixter. That's Hunter. Catherine Friedauer. Nancy Friedauer, NJ. Lily Gerber. Emma Glazier. Dylan Greenberg, Isabel Hall, Zachary Hess, Daphne Kaufman, Bodie Krasuski, Wright Krasuski, Vincent Liberator, Sienna Lubarski, Sophie Luthman, Charlotte McGuire, Jocelyn Mangold, Luke Mansour, also at movie night, Nicolina Margiaso, Valentina Melnikak, Mackenzie Mole, Melania Muley, Kaya Nicholson, Carolyn O'Connor, Madison O'Connor, Cruz Petraka, Charlotte Pyers, Adley Powell, Connor Quigley, Parker Rahman, Sage Randall, Greer Reed, Violet Reinson, Catherine Roach, Clara Setti, also at movie night, Sabrina Sika, Violet Ceroti, Logan Sabarao, Savannah Stark, Natalie Statiel, Brielle Stadel, Amelia Street, Joseph Strapoli, Cooper Verg, Heidi Weber, Harper Willis, Elias Young, Giancarlo Zarega, and last, by account of having a last name with a Z, Mila Zarini. Another thank you to all of our performers, our advisors, the board for supporting our shows, our superintendent, Dr. Garibay, and everyone in the audience for your support of our schools. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, in terms of being students involved in play, it's not easy standing up, and it's not easy, you know, being in front of the stage and talking, not just in front of parents, but in front of your peers as they make performances. It's not easy. So thank you. Thank you for willing to take a risk and to perform and to enjoy a piece of the arts that we provide here at Colts Township Schools. And thank you, parents, because getting everyone to practices on time and giving of that time and supporting if they need props or costumes or things like that, it's not easy. And very important, thank you, Mrs. Hannon, Mrs. Aletta, and Ms. Santiago for the time and effort that you give. Every year, I always consistently say, that was my favorite show. Oh, that was my favorite show. So it's like, you know, so if you're in the show next year, that's going to be my favorite show, because it just seems to go on and on every year. So at this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Rigby up, who will introduce the cast, crews, and advisors of Matilda Jr.
Thank you, Dr. Garibay, and thank you to Mrs. Volpe and the Board of Education for allowing us to be here tonight and for celebrating our students and our staff for some of their outstanding work and performances. So thank you for that opportunity. Quickly, just before we call up our facilitators and our directors, we are always in awe when you see the final product. And I think what people forget is it starts after Thanksgiving with a tryout. And then 4 months happens, and the magic behind the scenes is just something that I fully can never understand, but it works. And I think it works because of care and patience and a lot of love. And I think with that, we're so proud to call up our directors, our choreographers, that really led the students to an amazing show of Matilda Jr. that we all loved. So with that, very proud to call up Christina Hubbard, okay, Karen Londoño, and two others that can't be here tonight, but a big shout out and thank you to Carrie Sullivan and to Jeff Brown. But we appreciate the time, the passion that you share, and like I said, just to see the students perform at the end, cast and crew, is something that we all just so enjoyed, so well done. I asked Mrs. Hubbard just to say a quick shout out.
It's always so amazing to see the kids start off like nervous in the audition room and, you know, can I audition again? And see them grow from that nervous self-consciousness to the confident of I'm putting it all out there on stage in front of 500 people or 3, doesn't matter. It's amazing to see their transformation every year. So we're always excited to see who will transform from the little caterpillar into a giant butterfly, and they all do. They always do, and we're always so proud of them. Mrs. Londoño, would you like to add anything to that?
I would like to thank the students especially because I hadn't really been involved in theater, and to see the support and care that they give to each other, putting themselves out there on the stage, is truly something amazing. And as an educator, it gives me goosebumps to see them support each other when they take risk and put themselves out there. So I would like to thank all the students, and we're looking forward to seeing the elementary school kids come up next year.
And without further ado, we'd like to recognize Ethan Apple, Kayla Berkner. Liliana Benura. Sophia Boucher. Parker Churn. Jake Siskowski. Lucia Connor. Scarlett Cucci Taylor. Emmanuel Diener. Parthenea Eskander. Shiloh Folk. Victoria Franco Hernandez. Sienna Gugliara. Jacob Kaufman. Paula Adriana Koziks. Paul Lamegos Outwin. Emiliano Madrigal. Maureen McCormick. Scarlett Monzo. Vivian Monzo. Gianna Nicholson. Viviana Perez. Ella Rahman. Dennis Jake Reed. Autumn Rennick. Reagan Royal. Madison Schleimer. Maya Slaviak. Michaela Stadel. Gabriela Steffen. Paige Torres. Otto Weber. Oh, Paige Torres. Sorry. And Colin Winkleman. Thank you so much for recognizing us and taking time out of the board meeting to do these student recognitions. It really means a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone at Cedar Drive, and echo the sentiments. And we always appreciate, you know, when you watch the social media or we get news from Colts Neck High School, wherever their future takes them beyond Colts Neck Township schools, we always welcome the opportunity to see our stars continue to shine on the stages of wherever their high school takes them, or community, or wherever they are. So keep in touch, because we would love to still watch you grow, thrive, and enjoy the arts as you progress on your education journey. Thank you for being here this evening, and that concludes our student recognition program.
I'd like everybody to just stick around for 1 minute. I'm just going to do a quick president's report honoring the students. Just give me 1 minute.
If the board could resume at the dais, please.
Great. I want to thank everybody for coming this evening. I want to take this opportunity to use my president's report to acknowledge all the great work done by the students. This Board of Education would like to recognize and honor our students and our performing arts. I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the incredible cast and crew of Cedar Drive's Middle School's production of Matilda and Conover Road Elementary's presentation of Annie Kids. Your dedication, hard work, and talent shone brightly on stage, and it was clear to all who watched just how much effort and passion went into these performances. We recognize the countless hours and sacrifices made practicing 4 to 5 times a week, balancing schoolwork and committing yourselves fully to your roles. That level of dedication is truly commendable and did not go unnoticed. This community is deeply proud of the achievements of every student who participated. You brought joy, inspiration, and a sense of unity through your artistry and teamwork. We also want to express our sincere gratitude to the district staff, teachers, and organizers whose leadership and support made these productions possible. I'd like to recognize the following. From the Cedar Drive Elementary School for the Annie Kids production, Mrs. Amanda Arletta, Miss Olivia Santasiero, and Mrs. Ellen Hannon. Also from the Cedar Drive Middle School, once again, Miss Carrie Sullivan, Mrs. Christina Hubbard, Mr. Jeff Brown, and Mrs. Karen Lindano. Thank you very much. Your commitment to the students' growth and success is evident and appreciated. I also want to thank the principals, Mr. Osmond and Dr. Rigby, for always having our kids' best interests at heart and your strong leadership. We always appreciate you. Thank you. Today, we honor all of you. You have not only entertained us, you have inspired us. We are truly fortunate to have such dedicated students, educators, and leaders in our community. Thank you for making a difference. With that being said, on May 12th, I attended the Parent Advisory Committee meeting with Mrs. Horowitz and Dr. Garibay. I requested that Policy Board Chair, Mr. Scales, attend the meeting so that he was available for any questions or comments on our proposed Bill of Rights. It was a great opportunity to connect with the parents from the district to hear their valuable input. I am pleased to announce that some of their suggestions will be incorporated into this new bill. I want to also reiterate to the public that everything that's been put in the Bill of Rights has come from all the policies that were passed by previous boards. There is nothing new in the Bill of Rights other than to be incorporated into one easily accessible document. I also want to reiterate that this board will seek legal counsel to make sure that no federal and state laws are compromised. I am confident the final draft will be approved and passed by the board. Lastly, I just want to take note of a few important upcoming dates. June 18th will be our anxiously awaited Cedar Drive Middle School graduation. This date happened to coincide with our Board of Education meeting, so I have requested that Dr. Garibay move the Board of Education to June 25th. And this concludes my president report. Our students and families are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but if you choose not to do so, you're welcome to leave at this time. Thank you all very much for coming. And yes, we'll take a 5-minute recess for anybody else who wants to stay. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Tom, Zach. Good job for your granddaughter.
Mr. Work, how are you?
Anybody wants a picture, I'm willing to take them. Okay. Go with grandmother. There's just a man behind you.
I spoke to
You want him to Mother abandoned you. Wait, is she willing to come? Oh, I didn't know you were kidding about that. I was like, I'm going to joke about it, but, hey, what's going on? Anybody else?
Vince, I was with, oh my God, I'm blanking right now, John Pope today, and he sent his regards. Yeah. I do that thing, what's going on? I did an auction for Edison Board of Ed. So they saved like $500,000. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I do for a living.
Well, it's happening.
So I took them away from
Growing up. Good job in the play. Yeah. What's next year? We're doing the theater next year too. What grade you going? Do you have an agenda? What grade next year? 6th grade? Oh, Cedar Drive Middle School. Yeah, their kids. Do it for the kids. Enjoy it. It's only the biggest enjoyment I get is the kids seeing stuff like this. You know, I like it. You know? All right.
Yes. I got to see it at the 60th. Yep. I know. Perfect. Okay. Good to see you.
Great job.
No, she's all right. She's all right. See if she's all okay, yeah. Kids in the car.
Stay over here on the end. So this
Yeah, I'll be honest. Because you need your car to work. I'm so worried about when I'm getting to work. Yeah, this morning at 8 o'clock. You just run right up the driveway, yeah. It was like this big. I don't know, I dropped you off, she missed the bus, I ran right up our driveway.
They're all over my neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
All over my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, all right, they smell something. There's something going on. And a weird smell. My front. And that's why we're going bananas.
I hope
Mine are big. Mine are big. They can hold their own.
I hope mice because, yeah. We got
Hi,
that
Ben. How are you, Ben?
I love, like, my expertise, yes, it's a little, but I list and sell.
Jesus.
It's hard work.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, why not? Like home city kids.
And I really like typical commission back in the day was
Understand
6.
before I came.
Now it's 5. No, I charge 4. You said it used to be. Now regular is 5. I would knock it out at percent.
I can't have no trust in the phone. Nothing says I love you. I don't believe
You know? They have a service that they buy cell phone. Full.
That's the same thing. President Trump's of course it is there. No wonder he has BS. They see the BS because he's BS. Who looked worn down. This is from their official order? Yeah. I'm coming up on our response to that. Yes. BS running out of BS. BS. You respond?
Car accident, multiply that by, well, she texted me. I'm sure she's like, I'm gonna respond to her. Yeah, let's rock this. Let's get rid of it. Let's get this done. I'm good.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, so I met with John today, and he said he sent his best. I got them. I pulled them out of the aggregation, and they saved a ton of money by not being with the aggregation. Yeah. Well, what I told Jason and them is that I can get them in contact with someone from my company. You can always get back into the aggregation, but it doesn't hurt to look and see if you can get better pricing. Yeah. But I don't do aggregations really. I work with individual school boards and municipalities. Because typically what happens is with ACEs, because what happens with ACEs is they lump you all together. But for a school district like Edison, which is one of the largest in New Jersey, it makes sense for them to be on their own. Sometimes because the footprint is small, depending on where your prices are, it does make sense to be lumped into a large aggregation because you'll get better pricing. But which is ACEs, but you potentially, like to give you an example, the aggregation, they weren't part of ACEs. They were part of, I forget which one. The other big one. Why am I blanking on the name? Ed Services. Yeah. So what happened was, So what happened was, they had me look at their bills, and they haven't been, no one's been managing it. They just put them under a contract. So I work with a lot of towns throughout New Jersey, and someone got him in touch with me, and then I was like, let me do a bill review for you. I saw that they were overpaying because nobody's been managing their strategy. They just put them on an index price, which is floating the cost of energy, which they got pummeled at one point because they were floating the cost of energy. And then I helped them with the strategy, and we did the auction today. So they did well. I still think it's worth looking because you can always get back into an aggregation. They try to scare you that you can't get out, but you can. You could go right back in. But it's worth looking at. No. I would probably tell someone else to speak to someone at my company, and that I could tell them on the back end to look at this, and this, and then just excuse myself when. Yeah, and if it's something they could save. How much did you? Problem is, JCPL, their rates are going up as of June 1st. So it's going to, a lot of customers, even us as residential, we're going to see a 30% increase. Everyone, PSC&G, they're all. Yeah, I told you, because it was essentially, you do a 3-year look back. So we're coming off of COVID years where it was some.
Okay, guys, can we get back to the meeting? Thank you. All right, we are going to resume at this time, moving right into communications. If everybody wants to take note of the communications, I think most or practically all were on the Parents' Bill of Rights. I had addressed every single communication here. And I just want to thank all the people that wrote in with their comments and suggestions on the Bill of Rights. I want to let the public know that we do hear your concerns, and we will be incorporating some of them, as I said earlier. So thank you for all the communications. I already did the president's report, so we're moving right into the board liaison reports. Mrs. Horowitz, if we could start with you with the Parent Advisory Committee.
Sorry, I missed it. Parent Advisory Committee? Okay, perfect.
If you can turn your...
It's not on, I'm sorry.
oh,
I'm too short. There you go. Is it green? Yeah, it's green. Okay.
just-
Closer? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks. So we held our parent advisory meetings on May 12th, and this is a brief overview of what we discussed. Pomptonian Food Services joined our meeting to discuss some questions that were raised in our previous sessions. They clarified what was included in their daily lunch, as well as what students have access to at the free farm stand. They also share the new protein alternatives, such as cheese sticks, yogurt. All of that will be added to the menu shortly. They also discuss custom menus that are available for students with allergies, as long as there's a doctor's note, as well as highlighted special event days like sushi, pasta, international cuisine days. A big discussion was, and some feedback we received and concerns was for the Parent Bill of Rights. Policy Chair Robert Scales joined to explain the document as it's intended to clarify parental rights and ensure balance with government authority. Parents raised several concerns, some of which were vague language related to classroom observations, vagueness around the staff, non-interference with parental rights, potential delays in care due to health notification requirements, language concerning gender identity and student privacy, and clarification on what curriculum parents can opt their children out of. Mr. Scales emphasized that this is a draft document and welcomed continued feedback as revisions are expected. Some other things we didn't get into because of time restraints were the spring conferences. We're potentially looking at proposing one day for conferences for 2026. We also didn't get a chance to discuss the new website and the mobile app that will launch in June, and a K through second grade task force that we're going to be reviewing the screen time and digital tools in the early grades. And our next, we're not sure yet if we're going to have a June meeting, but get back to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Horowitz. Do you want to continue with the PTO?
Yes. So there's quite a few events that are upcoming. The 8th grade graduation ads, they were extended. So the deadline is May 30th. So families and students can submit gradulatory ads and chat outs for the graduation program. The 2nd grade carnival is scheduled for May 30th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the primary school. This event is free with games, food, and t-shirts. Permission slips are due by Friday. 8th grade baby photos are due by May 31st for graduation at the Ice Cream Social photo display, just no digital submissions. The final PTO meeting and volunteer breakfast is June 4th at 9:30 at the admin building to thank volunteers and announce the volunteer of the year. CRPS and CRES book fairs are running from June 5th to the 16th during school hours. No cash is accepted. Please use credit or e-wallet. The 8th grade dance is taking place on June 13th from 7 to 11 at the Colts Firehouse. It is $25 and includes a hoodie favor. Permission slips are required. The 8th grade ice cream social is scheduled for June 17th at 1 p.m. at Cedar Drive for yearbook signing and celebration. The 5th grade moving up party is June 19th from 10:15 to 12:15. It includes DJs, games, yearbook signing, and more. Volunteers and donations are needed. Photo montage submissions. Families of students in pre-K through 7th grade are encouraged to send in school-related photos for the 8th grade montage gift. And lastly, the PTO is having a fundraiser for graduation cards and gifts. You can save 20% at minted.com using the code fundraisecoltsnack, and 15% is donated to the PTO. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mrs. Horowitz. Moving on to the Colts Neck Township School Newsletter, Mrs. Camera.
I'm currently putting together the next edition of our newsletter. In the meantime, I've been gathering feedback from parents, educators, and community members, and some of the most positive feedback I've received has been about our board's ongoing commitment to recognizing student excellence, whether academic, athletic, artistic, or musical, both during board meetings like tonight and in our newsletter.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Camera. The Colts Neck Township School Arts, Sports, and Extracurricular Activities, Mr. Regnetta.
Thank you. Monday, June 2nd, there will be summer basketball tryouts for AAU and travel. For 2nd grade through 5th grade, it'll be 6 o'clock to 7 p.m. 6th grade to 8th grade, it'll be from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. There's a $20 fee, and it'll be held at the St. Rose of Lima in Freehold. Again, that's Monday, June 2nd for the basketball tryouts. Please email teamyoyobasketball@gmail.com to register for more info. Also pertaining to basketball, there'll be 2025 Cougar Basketball Camp, which will take place June 30th through July 3rd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. There's a $190 registration fee, and this will be for 7 to 15-year-olds, and it'll be at the Colts Neck High School. Again, go to coltsnecksportsfoundation.com for this to sign up and for more information. Father-daughter dance will be Saturday, June 7th at Trump National from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. It'll be $80 per person. If you have more than one child, for each additional child, you get $5 off. For this, so go to coltsnecksportsfoundation.com to register and for more info. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Regnetta. Colts Neck Township Committee, Mrs. Camera.
Okay. I attended the May 14th meeting. Here are some highlights. There was a great deal of discussion regarding the acquisition of a new fire truck, a much-needed investment in the safety of our community. So a big thank you to all our dedicated volunteers who help keep Colts Neck safe. Some of the committee reports, some highlights included our monthly senior trips. So there's an ongoing effort to support and engage our senior community. Farmland preservation, an additional 80 acres of land has been preserved. The Lions Club Derby, so a special thank you to the Lions Club, who not only hosted a fantastic derby, but also visit our schools to provide free eye testing for students and create braille trails to support accessibility. There was a ribbon cutting for a new restaurant in town, via Esposito Restaurant, so it's always exciting to welcome a new local business. Congratulations to the Colts Neck Women's Club, which recently welcomed 5 new members, so if anyone else is interested. A lot of information about the Memorial Day Parade. So our town is preparing for the annual Memorial Day Parade scheduled for Monday, May 26th at 10:30 at Town Hall, 1 Veterans Way. You can get more information on the town website. The Colts Neck Historical Society collaborates with our schools to support our social studies curriculum with a living history. And this year right here at Colts Neck Primary School, there was a Thomas Jefferson reenactment. There will be a free child car seat installation May 30th. Thank you to the Colts Neck Police Traffic Safety Bureau. It will be from 4 to 6 p.m. at Buck Mills Park. And that is all from the Township Committee. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Camera. A lot going on. Thank you for reporting out on all that. Okay, moving on to the Colts Neck Township Planning Board, the Subcommittee, Mr. Walsh.
Okay, Mr. Scales is obviously not here. We had attended the last meeting. I'd like to thank John Tobia, the Planning Board Chairman, for including the Board of Education and making the decisions on what plans the township needs to submit by June 30th to the state for the Council of Affordable Housing. What does that affordable housing look like? What plans are we going to approve? The school district, the school board's contribution, I think, is really significant in informing the school board on the big ramifications of the housing and the tax impact of the taxpayers. How many new students we're going to have coming in the district, how much it's going to cost to educate them, and how as a school board, prepare our infrastructure and our teachers, our whole education for incoming students. So we're working together in a collaborative manner along with the Township Committee, the Planning Board. I just want to say I really think that the Planning Board, in the absence of the Board of Education, was a missing link. With us being there, I think it really It's going to gain them a better perspective in making the big decisions going forward as a township. Next meeting is May 29th, and the township needs to submit its plan to the state by June 30th.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Once again, we are definitely pleased that we are a part of the subcommittee. I think the school district is a huge portion of this community, and we are going to be affected the most by the affordable housing units going up. So thank you and Mr. Scales for your continued time that you're putting in for that. Can you go right into the seniors report?
Nothing to report.
Okay, great, thank you. Moving on to the Naval Weapons Station Earl, I'm going to see if Mrs. Ramirez can report out for that. Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, so we have nothing that has happened since our last report, but there are ongoing conversations with our administration for a few of the ideas that we've been brainstorming to try and get some dates set down and to finalize some plans. So when we have more information on some of those things that we've mentioned at previous meetings, like for example, the possibility of doing a field trip or setting aside some space in our school community for some of our military students to leave their mark. We'll have some more information once some of those things are more finalized. And we don't have any meeting or any date set as of right now, but we'll keep you posted.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Ramirez. We always appreciate our military. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to cover the state and county school boards. A lot of this is redundant. They are offering a statewide training May 30th, a virtual spring conference from 9 to 3:30. The course is $99. It offers more than 20 sessions featuring school safety and security, mental health, and board governance. On June 6th, we have an AI conference from 9 to 3:30 at Mercer County College. The registration is $119 for that, and it will cover how AI will affect our classrooms. Lastly, June 23rd, the Leadership Conference for Board of Ed's presidents and vice presidents. That will be 9:30 to 3:30 at Manville High School, and the registration will be $119. Unfortunately, I have a prior commitment, so I will not be able to attend that. Okay, moving on, we are going to hand it over to our superintendent for her report.
Thank you, Mrs. Volpe. Before I go into a little bit of an update for the board on our annual district goals, I just want to take a minute to thank our PTO, who really did an above and beyond, amazing, wonderful, thoughtful job on our recent Teacher Appreciation Week. The effort they put forward to celebrate and have a circus theme where there were treats and just so much appreciation that came in, as well as thanking all the parents. I was copied on several notes from parents who took the time to write emails to staff, and it's just really appreciated. And I want to say thank you to the PTO for their efforts for collaborating, coordinating, and supporting our teachers in all that they do. I also just wanted to say before I went into my report that we do have a holiday weekend, and while everyone enjoys this kickoff of summer and so on, just remembering that Monday is a federal holiday of Memorial Day that is set aside to recognize those that made the ultimate sacrifice in serving their country. So we certainly, with our military families and Naval Weapons Station Earl and all around, we want to pay respect and also celebrate with them the memories of those who have served our country and sacrificed all that they had for our country. So thank you for that. In moving towards and going into the update, I just wanted to give the board a little bit of an update of, since it's a little bit of second time for some people, first time for others, with regard to receiving information by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week on the district goals. So the district goals are something that are voted on by the Board of Education in the fall, and that we move towards and we work towards as a group of staff in achieving. So this year's goals, as a reminder, the first goal was in student achievement, which is always a consistent goal. Our second goal was with governance and goal 3. So I just want to provide an overview that by next week you'll be receiving a link that has access to all folders with all detailed information in them, as progress towards the goals were made. But to highlight some of the things that we've been doing, for district goal number 1, student achievement, that goal actually aligned with strategic plan goal area number 1, student learning outcomes. And we want to increase student academic performance and participation rates measured by 2025 NJSLA across key subject areas like ELA, math, and science in grade levels and subjects, where 2024 NJSLA performance data fell below 2023. So how do you do that, right? You do a lot because we've talked about that behind every score, there's a lot of granular data and information. And where we started, just to highlight some of the information, and it's substantial, all the data and information with a more formal presentation of it all to come on June 4th. But we looked at subdomains of the categories within each group. And in math, in math, science, and in ELA, we look for something that we deem as called dips, right? Where did we dip a little bit? And in grade 6, and I'm talking about Cedar Drive, we actually saw overall in math a positive 3% increase for all general education. We are focusing this year on additional and supporting content, major content, but we saw significant gains in expressing mathematical reasoning as well as modeling and application. So what do you do with that information in 6th grade? You look at your assessments, you look at your curriculum, and how can you strengthen it and provide additional support, as we're also designing and customizing really our intervention programs so that we're really honing in on those sub-contents. 7th grade, probably one of the biggest changes we had going forward, we had a 15% increase in performance overall last year in grade 7, which was we were really proud of, but of course we want to go for more. And across, we had no dips in any of the subdomains, but we actually had additional and supporting content plus 14%, expressing mathematical reasoning plus 23% in that subdomain. Major content area was 24% increase, and modeling and application was 10% increase in those performance. 8th grade, same thing. We did the same with no dips, but a positive 18% increase in grade 8. 7th and 8th grade, overall change was a positive 6, but we did look in algebra at modeling and application, which we did dip negative 13%. So we looked at that, and that's how we're customizing our instruction this year, and hoping that we will bring that back up and exceed it. Grade 18, we had no change, but it remained 100% overall and looking at all subdomains. In Crest Elementary School, grades 3 through 5, we didn't have any changes whatsoever, but we did see an increase in additional and supporting change. In other words, the percentage of meeting or exceeding didn't change, but we did see dips, a negative 10% in expressing mathematical reasoning and major content. So those are areas we're looking at, with an increase of an 8% in modeling and application. Grade 4, we saw a dip this year. We saw that with Dr. Reynolds' presentation with a negative 4% overall change, and we're really looking at additional and supporting content, expressing mathematical reasoning, and modeling and application, but we did see a +4 in major content area. Then in grade 5, the overall change was a +5%, additional supporting content. We looked at a minor decrease of negative 2%, expressing mathematical reasoning was +4, and then -1 in both major content and modeling application. So I'm not going to go through every single thing in ELA the same way, but I wanted to provide the board with a little bit of an example of how granular we get into that and the tools that we use to not only identify, but to also support the instruction based on what our data informs us of. So that's kind of a sampling of the information that will become available to the board and to the public on June 4th. We thought about professional development. Our Dr. Reynolds, our Director of Curriculum Instruction, along with our instructional coach, Mrs. Tina Kennis, really pushed forward into the classroom and brought to the concept of building thinking classrooms for professional development sessions for grades 5 through 8. We worked with Dr. Eric Mailu for professional development, specifically for math instruction, with discussions that included task design, grading practices, and how to gather meaningful evidence and learning. We also started something new for 24-25 in grades 6 through 8, which was quarterly common assessments. That was something that we built in based on the content area to really be, again, adding to that formative assessment as we progress monitor throughout the school year. And then we're also looking at impact in more lessons for special education, which is a subgroup category that we're always looking to improve performance on, and designing really pacing guides that identify the core subject matter of what we do and really honing on those skill sets with our students with IEPs. Professional development will continue in those areas. ELA writing, we know that as part of our highlights for our budget presentation, we're looking at writing programs, and again, going into that same type of granular detail with ELA. I could talk for another 30 minutes on it, or I could just provide you with the information next week, as I said. Goal number 2, any questions on that? And I'm sure you'll have more questions as you receive the information, but we can definitely, feel free to reach out at any time as we're talking through the information, as well as after you receive the information. District goal number 2 is governance, and that you've been receiving regular updates in the week about that with the transition of our policy manual. That is a deep dive into the language of our policies. And we are in the process of really just of that audit stage still, where we're going through each policy, making sure every single one has been captured, and actually it's branched out now. We are actually, the entire administrative team, leadership team is now engaged in exact wording, and we have created a collaborative doc where policies specifically are being identified with suggested language that we'll be sharing with the board before a full policy for consideration, before a readoption of all policies take place. And then once we get further along in the process, we'll engage board docs, which will become the new online platform, okay? And then finally, one that's been a little bit more in the background, but something that we've been working on really collaboratively, it was stakeholder community engagement, and this too aligns with strategic plan goal area 3, which is communication and partnership, and engaging staff. And what we wanted to do this year, we explored something called Collaborating for Student Success. And that is a comprehensive practical guide, I guess you could say, for increasing shared decision-making through lasting partnerships. This guide is promoting collaborative partnership in education to improve student outcomes. And really what this is actually something the NLMP, which is the Coalition of National Education Organizations like AASA, NEA, NJEA, so on and so forth, really put together a comprehensive guide of decision-making. And it's about who is involved in sitting at the table with making decisions, how do you get feedback. And CNTA President Mrs. Lindonio and I attended several sessions in the evening about presentations for this and how to customize it a little bit in practice for us, and really going through and having good conversations about not just necessarily extending an invitation to participate in a committee structure, but really involving in the decision-making process. And once we get going on it and get a little bit more conversation going on it, it's obviously certainly something that we would love board members to also be a part of, and being able to creating that collaborative decision-making, with our all stakeholders. So we're looking forward to that, and you'll be receiving information on that. I only just have another 3 or 4 pages. No, I'm just kidding. That's a brief update with a lot more information. Once you receive it all, I don't want anyone to be overwhelmed, so please reach out if you have any questions. And that concludes my superintendent's report.
That's okay. Thank you. A lot of positives there. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, we're going to take note of the 2 information items, if everybody wants to just skim over that briefly. And then we will open the floor for our first public comment section of our meeting. If anybody would like to make a comment or a question, suggestion, you could do so at this time. Just please come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Hi.
Hi.
Is this on? I think I see a green light. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Hold on, it's not on, I don't think, or is...
Push that lever piece up a little bit.
That's okay.
Now?
Yeah,
there we
there
go.
you go. There
Now
you
we
go.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Sorry. Hi, my name is Julia Garitano. I live here in Colts Neck, 130 Route 537. I had written and recently spoke at the Parent Advisory Committee meeting over my initial concerns of the Parental Bill of Rights. After those discussions and their responses regarding the matter, I have some follow-up questions and thoughts that I'd just like to say. Mr. Scales has referenced several times our own U.S. Constitution Bill of Rights, which is the first 10 amendments of the Constitution itself and is currently being questioned every day in our current political environment. If an amendment is a minor change or addition designed to improve a text, piece of legislation, etc., my first question is, what does your proposal provide that the current set of laws and policies do not? My next question is, what policy are you looking to amend? If it is indeed supposed to be a summary of the policies that were approved by former boards, then do just that and call it a parental policy summary. Why use vague wording that attempts to imply a right in places where there is none? I do not think this document is an accurate representation of what you are trying to express. In these charged times, it is best to be as accurate as possible and, as Mr. Scales likes to say, get the facts straight, instead of insinuating problems or issues where there are none. There should be zero room for interpretation so that it can help maintain the balance that you are looking for in an already unbalanced society. As someone at the Parent Advisory Committee meeting stated, why give a false sense of hope to carry out a right to then be turned down by a law or a policy? Or, in valuing transparency, is it your hope that certain laws and policies will be overturned and then you have this document ready to go? I say again that this is not why we moved to this town. And for reference, we moved in here in 2018, pre-COVID rush. We refinanced at the right time and have such a great rate that we will be dying and haunting in our house before we entertain the thought of moving anywhere else. But we don't want to move. We have put down our roots. When my current second grader is in 6th grade, we will start all over again with our youngest in K. So we will be in this system for quite a while. As individuals, we do know where your personal politics stand, and some are very charged and very public. So it is difficult to have faith that you will remain unbiased as a board member when it comes to the intentions behind this bill and the decisions for all in our school district. Mrs. Volpe, you said at the PAC meeting in honesty that you didn't read it as threatening, but I and several other parents do. I recently spoke to another parent who was present at the PAC meeting, who admittedly went in blind, unaware of the controversy and agenda, and they said that they found the board members present to be incredibly dismissive to the concerns that were brought up, and therefore was against the bill on that premise alone. I heard that just a few years ago that you were standing where we are now, begging to be heard, which is what I am sure activated you to be in the position that you currently are. I don't doubt the hard work and dedication it took to get you there. Just remember this spot of concerned parents and what that trepidation felt like to stand up for what you think is right or wrong, and I truly hope that you mean it when you say you'll reevaluate the bill and its purpose. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Mrs. Garitano.
Hello, I'm Catherine Gallagher. I live at 34 Hires Mill Road here in Colts Neck. Good evening. First, I just wanted to say I'm very thankful to live in this community with our fantastic public schools, and this is a big reason why my husband and I chose to move here to raise our young girls. Specifically, I wanted to speak today because I'm concerned about the proposed parental bill of rights put forward by the board. Parental involvement is crucial for a child's success in school. However, I'm concerned this proposal is micromanagement of the classroom. Specifically, Article 4.2 stating that parents may choose to opt their children out of lessons based on personal beliefs and teachers being required to design alternative assignments or independent study. Public schools are not private tutoring services. There are private schools, homeschooling options, which can cater to those with a specific set of beliefs that are not in keeping with the public education curriculum. Our educators are trained professionals delivering a broad curriculum designed so students are prepared for the future and the real world. This kind of broad policy is burdensome to schools. I'm concerned this will have a ripple effect in the rest of the classroom. To give a specific example, let's say I declare myself an anti-mathematarian. I claim math instruction violates my personal beliefs. Does that mean that my child should be excused from learning algebra and that a teacher must develop an alternative to math instruction? If so, we're setting that child up to fall behind on state benchmarks. Obviously, this is an extreme example, but the negative implications of this kind of policy, I think, are real. And moving to Article 7.3, I'd like to talk about the idea of allowing parents to observe classrooms. I'm concerned about my children's privacy. I'm concerned this would be a major distraction to learning. It might sound like transparency, but in practice, this kind of policy creates an environment of surveillance and distrust. I don't walk into my mechanic's garage, hover over his shoulder, give him advice while he fixes my car. I trust he knows what he's doing. Teachers deserve that same trust and professional respect. Constant oversight does not help kids learn. It makes it harder for teachers to teach. Real partnerships between families and schools are built on communication and respect, not control. I urge you to reconsider this proposal, not because parents don't matter, but because public education must remain a space where trained educators can do their job for the benefit of all students. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mrs. Gallagher. I just want to make a couple of comments. I just want to let the public know, to echo the sentiment of Mrs. Garitano, that I was once a parent like you on the opposite side of this table, and it was very frustrating to be dismissed on certain things that meant a lot to me and other parents at that time. That's why I chose to run and make a difference for those parents. I purposely put myself on the Parent Advisory Committee to make myself available to everybody in a smaller atmosphere. While I'm in those meetings, I listen carefully, whether I'm writing, jotting notes or not, and I listen carefully to everybody's suggestions and concerns, complaints. I did get the impression that there was at least 2 parents at that meeting that seemed to be okay with this bill from what their comments were. They just wanted to have some things added or changed. This bill, once again, is a draft copy. It's probably weeks, maybe months out. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot more input we are going to seek from our constituents, parents, and so on and so forth, teachers. Once again, this isn't a bill to intimidate. I know, some people are commenting that it is. That is not our position or purpose to intimidate anybody. So, like I said, moving forward, we will continue to seek input, and your comments are valuable to us. I never want you to feel that way. I tried to reiterate that in the Parent Advisory Committee. There'll be times that, we're not going to see eye to eye, but we are parents. We really love our kids. That's why you're there. That's why I'm here. So I made a promise that I would never dismiss anybody in this community. It may not always come out that way or seen that way, but everybody on this board is committed to have a strong continued partnership with everybody here. As for my personal political beliefs, they may be harsh. They are staunch. I am a staunch conservative. I'm proud of that. But it does not affect how I govern on this board. When I'm here to say I'm committed to a 0 tax increase, I think that's a nonpartisan issue. We were successful in that commitment, and I'm assuming both sides of the aisle will be happy that we saved the taxpayer money. Dr. Garibay and the Finance Committee worked diligently to make sure that no teachers were sacrificed, no programs were sacrificed. We remained steadfast in keeping a promise to uphold the best education this board can possibly give. And like I said, my personal political views are just mine. Nobody else is on this board, so I just want to reiterate that to everybody. And once again, thank you always for coming and standing up and giving your side and your comments. We always appreciate it. So thank you. Moving on, we are going to... Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm going to have a motion to close public comment. Let me just get my bearings of where we are. Okay, we are going to move into the action items at this point. I'm going to need a motion to move action items 1 through 4.
Motion.
Second.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to hand this over to Dr. Garibay. She's going to speak in reference to number 3.
Yes, hi. In accordance with the Commissioner of the New Jersey Department of Education is required by state law to grade each public school and the school district's effort to implement the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights, or known as the ABR, in statute NJSA 18A:17-46. In terms of to assist the Commissioner of Education in doing this annually, a school district is responsible through its school safety or school climate team to fulfill self-assessment, school self-assessment for determining grades under the ABR self-assessment, and to help the chief school administrator or superintendent fulfill their required responsibilities in doing so. For the purpose of tonight, annually, we are supposed to be giving reports, but it's on prior years. So we look at totality of years, and then it is actually on last year's 23-24 school year, and then next year around this time, we'll have 24-25, and it's in reflection of a year behind for that reason. And Dr. Beck, who is the anti-bullying coordinator for the district, works with staff, our school counselors and our administrators who are anti-bullying specialists, and staff, the teams at each building, to review our HIB programs, training on our policies, training programs in accordance with just character education, as well as outreach and anti-bullying efforts, curriculum instruction on HIB and related maximum information and skills, maintaining HIB-related personnel, school-level HIB incident reporting procedures, our investigating procedures outside, our reporting, and all of that is taken into consideration, and each school is required for combining and having a consensus agreement based on evidence, not just opinion and documentation, very similar to that of a CUSAC process for determining those grades. I am very, very proud to report that through our efforts of examining and in compliance with the New Jersey State Department of Education, each school for the 23-24 school year has earned a score of a 78 on the anti-bullying rights self-assessment tool grades. So that being said, I know we are required to take any questions or comments on the report or the self-assessments, which is an attachment on this evening's agenda. So at this time, are there any questions or comments from the board? At this time, are there any questions or comments from the community attendees? Okay, at this time, we're going to close comment on that.
Okay, so we're going to go back to making a motion to approve action items 1 through 4 at this time. A motion to move items.
There was already a motion
Oh,
on
there
the
was? I'm
floor
sorry.
from Phyllis
Okay.
Camera and seconded by
Okay, I didn't hear.
Vincent
I'm sorry.
Rignetta. Is that correct, Vincent? That was Mr. Kevin Walsh? Okay.
Okay. Apologize for that screw up. Roll call, please.
On superintendent action items 1 through 4, Mrs. Camera,
Yes.
Mrs. Horowitz, recognizing that she is now participating in the meeting, joined our meeting at approximately 6:48 p.m.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Urico.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez. Thank you. Mr. Rignetta.
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe.
Yes.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Thanks. The motion passed.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Maresco. All right, moving on, I'd like to get a motion to move items under curriculum 1 through 4.
Motion.
Second, sorry.
Great.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments on these 4 items? Okay, seeing none, if I could get a roll call.
Yes, curriculum items 1 through 4. Mrs. Cameron.
Yes.
Mr. Urico.
Yes.
Mrs. Horowitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez. Mr. Rignetta.
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe.
Yes.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
The motion carried.
Great, thank you. Moving on to finance, if I could get a motion to move items 1 through 6.
Motion.
Okay, can I get a roll call? Oh, I'm sorry, anybody have questions on those 6 items? Okay, I see none. Roll call.
Yes, finance items 1 through 6, Mrs. Cameron.
Yes.
Mrs. Horowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Urico.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez. Mr. Rignetta.
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe.
Yes.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carried.
Great, thank you. Okay, moving on, nothing under policy, nothing under negotiations. Nothing under transportation. All right, we're going to go right into personnel. Can I get a motion to move items 1 through 20?
Motion? Second.
Great, thank you. Anybody have questions or comments on any of these?
I have a comment.
Okay, recognizing Mrs. Camera.
So the board is proud to fully fund the Summer Bridge program at no cost to families while maintaining our 0% tax increase. The board is thrilled that over 100 students are eager to continue their learning over the summer, and that's a thank you to our amazing teachers who make meaningful education possible year-round.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Camera, for recognizing that. Anybody else?
I'd like to welcome the new teacher at Conover Road Elementary starting in September, Ashley Marino.
Great, yes, let's welcome Ashley Marino. Thank you for recognizing that, Mr. Walsh. Okay, anybody else? I just want to throw a shout out to Mr. Richard Wickberg. When he, in his tenure here, he was very, very big on keeping the Summer Bridge program, and he kept asking me, you know, promise to get that in, make sure that program stays, and like I said, thank you to Dr. Garibay and the board. We are so proud that we are continuing with that, and I hope Mr. Wickberg is listening, that we we came through on the bridge program, so thank you. Can I have a roll call at this time?
Yes. Personnel items 1 through 20. Mrs. Camera?
Yes.
Mrs. Horowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Arico?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez? Yes. Yes, thank you. Mr. Rignetta?
Due to my employment with the New Jersey Department of Labor, Family Leave, Disability, I'll have to recuse from numbers 1 and 2, but yes to all the rest.
Thank you. Mrs. Volpe?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
The motion carried.
Great, thank you. Okay, we are moving on to our last comments to the public. Once again, if anybody would like to get up, we sure welcome you to do so. Just state your name and address for the record. Okay, seeing none, we're going to close public comment at this time. We are going to move right into new business. If anybody would like to address new business, last minute comments. Oh, sure, recognizing Mrs. Ramirez.
Yeah. Due to a personal conflict. So I wasn't here when we went through the reappointments of some of our staff. And so I know we did the reappointment for general counsel this evening. And I just want to note that, President Volpe, I did reach out to you in the 11th hour this evening to briefly discuss this, just make sure I didn't miss anything. But I think that something like this, if there was any kind of consultation, these are the kinds of topics that, now that we're a committee of a whole, I really do think that we should be discussing these types of things in our committee of a whole meetings. And at the very least, sending out emails and communications to the full board so that everyone can be aware and on the same page.
Yes, oh, I'm sorry, that's okay. Yes, thank you very much for your comment, Mrs. Ramirez. I'm going to take note of that and for the future, so we appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you. Okay, anybody else would like to add new business? Just to close out, I'm going to echo the sentiments of Dr. Garibay with the Teacher Appreciation Week. This board wants to just recognize all the hard work and dedication our teachers give to our kids in this community. It's certainly not easy. I can't be around my daughter for more than an hour teaching her something, so I appreciate all the work that is put in to our children. You really make a difference in our kids' lives, and we certainly all do appreciate you. At this time, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Great, thank you, Ms. Maresca.
No, no. You don't get to